Hello, welcome to the McEwen Brother podcast. This week, me and Jamie are actually discussing how we're switching up the podcast this week. We are going to be changing our topic. We're going to be honing down into a business-focused topic, and we'll just cover exactly what we're doing, why we're doing it, and we hope you stick around. Enjoy.
Hello guys, and welcome to... Well, Gregor, should we actually delve into this because we're no longer called McEwen Brothers Podcast? Or are we?
That is a question. Me and Jamie had a call probably about 2 hours ago discussing where we're going with this podcast, because obviously it's not going anywhere that we want it to go with regards to listener-wise, a volume of listeners, or even just us being motivated enough to do the research beforehand before we jump on a call and record a podcast. Jamie, wouldn't you agree, or what's your thoughts?
Yeah, me and Gregor have obviously set ourselves a goal at the start of the year. Let's do an episode a week. And it started off quite good. We were planning, we were doing the research, and as the episodes got on, we realised that same energy was slowly disappearing. So we've kind of came back and consolidated with not only us, Gregor. I think you've obviously had a chat with our father, who listens to every single episode and has given us a little bit of advice. And I think we're taking this on board to the next steps. So, Gregor, what do you think is the next steps for us?
So the next step for us, I think is based on feedback from one person, which I think is our dad, but warrants the action I think it needs. So obviously, discussing with you, Jamie, the podcast has been quite ad hoc in regards to what we discuss on this. There's also the element of lack of preparation sometimes with a certain podcast. So yeah, we want to try and streamline that to make it more fun for us, first of all, I think, as well. But I mean, I enjoy talking to you every week, Jimmy, so I find it fun. But making it more interesting and figuring out a way or topic-wise that we could take it to the next level that broadens our horizon with regards to who's listening, actually maybe niche down on something on a certain topic, and also allow us to bring on guests as well. Like, I don't think we want to stop that, because we do enjoy that when we can do it. That's fun, and 100%. I feel like you learn a lot. That's kind of where I think we're at.
Yeah. So I think the key thing is for us is, let's just bring it round to the aspect of what are we going to talk about. So let's have a little bit of discussion, Gregor. I've got a few ideas, things that we like. We're both into, golf. You could talk about what's going on in golf. We both enjoy other sports. Could we become sporting? You've done business, I've done business.
It's hard because with a sports podcast, it does require that a bit of research again as well. Like, I'm trying to think of something that there's many topics we go into, like sports, business, or investing, or it's trying to get it so it fits into our life in a way that maybe doesn't require as much work as it needs, but it obviously will. But discussing on a podcast, I think this is the idea. The way I see it is, this is like a byproduct of what we're doing in our day-to-day life. And the idea there is it brings in the other aspect of our lives that we always want to get better at and be more productive with. And that gets me onto what we want to actually switch this up to. Jamie, do you want to just bring it to the audience?
So guys, the new and refreshed look of our podcast will be about being an entrepreneur. The key thing of is, we're going to discuss business ideas, adventures that we're taking, and what we're doing on a week-to-week basis. The whole goal is to bring an idea of talking about what we're actually doing. So in terms of investments and sort of entrepreneurial aspects, starting our own business, that side of things, we've obviously discussed.
Right, let's not sell the world. But the point is, because clearly over the last couple of years, been given opportunities to, you've done it, and we've discussed the challenges that we've had on the podcast with, me, you, and Callum, and our dad involved. But let's not, yes, it's going to be about entrepreneurship and trying to start something and you're saying running a business, but for me, it's about taking that initiative to basically go from like an idea to the first sale, and we're going to try and document that process on here as a byproduct.
Yeah. Why did you ask me? You're the one that's got the idea in your head. You're the
Right.
one that
So here's the point.
I should
Right,
ask you that question because you're the
well,
one
here's
that
I know, but that's
I went with what was up here, like, fucking, let's just. Greg went, ask me the question. I was like, what the fuck is he asking me for the question? Because I don't
okay.
know.
Right. Well, there's maybe that's like part of it. Is like, is that what you want to do? Because obviously, when we discussed it on the phone, you were like, yes, that sounds quite a nice idea. But it was just my idea. I don't know if you have had a chance to think about anything else that you want to change it to. Because I think the podcast needs to change because we haven't really niched down on something. We haven't really got that core. This is why you listen to us. It's just random weekly chats, me and you. But
So I think the first thing that comes to my head is like, yes, I agree with this. I quite like the idea. I've started to do something with regarding to the business that, $3,000 that Dad's given us. I've gone down a route of doing very similar to what Scott has kind of told us. I thought he's got a concept that works, and I've gone down that route,
podcast 2 weeks ago. Anybody listening can dive into that.
Yeah, so I've kind of done a bit of copycat situation where he's got a model that works, and I thought, why not try and see if I can do it myself?
Right, Jimmy, my question to you is about the actual podcast topic, not what you're doing business wise. Like my whole thing was.
That's what I'm trying to bring in. My only thing with it is the amount you can do in a week. So I think that there's an aspect of we have busy lives. Okay, we've both got partners. I think the only thing my worry is if we continue to do a weekly episode, the conversation might not be there might not be enough conversation because there might be 1 week you've done maybe a good bit of work, I've done nothing, and then it's kind of that's my worry. That's my only worry.
Well, I think on that front, it's like I feel like you're bound to do something a week that I maybe don't do something, and I'm bound to do something a week that you don't do something. It's hopefully going to be quite rare that there'll be a week where both of us don't do anything, and that might be because we're both together doing something or going on holiday or whatnot. That's fine, but for me, it's like we could even come on and discuss. So, what you're planning for your next steps? You'd say you haven't done something in the week. You'd be like, What's your next steps? What's your plans? And then you could run through that and go like, okay, next week I'm planning to do X, Y, Z, and we'll catch up next week and see how that's going. It's more about. It's not the fact that the stuff you've done, which is the key thing, to have like that accountability thing, being like, come on the podcast, I'm going to discuss it. But even if you do nothing, that's fine, because we can still discuss your idea. It's probably a good place for you to basically get your ideas from your mind out into the world as well, on a podcast format. So I don't think that's an issue. That's what I'm thinking, anyway. What would you agree? I don't know.
No,
I don't want to. Just want to force you into it because I feel like I've just decided like this is probably a good idea.
No, I think the key thing is the McEwen Brothers is dead. Obviously, we're not dead, but the McEwen Brothers is dead.
In what way, Jamie? Like just the whole concept of it, or I don't know what.
I think the sporadic, is that the right word, or sporadic of sporadic of our episodes and how much variation went through. And if you were to go look at what we did in each episode and look at the variation we did from the start of this year to now, you'd be like, what are these guys on about? Who are they? What's going on? And I think that's shown in our stats. How many people listen to this? It's shown in a lot of different aspects of what we've done and how we've come to where we are now. So I think the change is right. I think we're past halfway through the year. Something has to be done. I still, same as you guys, love the conversation. Love having a chat. I have to say it'd be great to get our older brother on more consistently. I think he should be part of this as well. I think that's something we need to speak to him about, and I think it needs to be more of a consistency where we're having this sort of chat with him.
I think what's good about is like if we choose the niche of, I say niche, but it's like just the topic of, almost like your side hustle to earn extra money. That's kind of like where we're going down, and what you're doing to do that. And then like, I guess with that, it allows us to bring on guests, and that allows us, because obviously Callum's clearly not going to be on this every week, so it allows us to put in time to ask Callum at some point, how's he doing with his work or his side hustle stuff. And then that means we can get us involved. I don't think we need to like totally treat him as like a regular member of the podcast, because that just doesn't work logistically.
No, I definitely don't think that, but I think it'd be good to have him like once a month on. As a consistent guest, maybe. I think that's something I would I so let's obviously bring it round. So McCune Brothers is gone. We've got a blank name at the moment. We've not.
We don't know. That's it. It's literally this evening we've discussed this and gone,
so
okay, this
the
needs
name
to change.
So the name's still to be decided.
There's a question, Jimmy. Are we doing it this week, making a change? Because, well, obviously not this week, because this will go out on Sunday. We're recording this on the Thursday. Next week, I'm not too sure. I actually don't know how it works with regards to naming on like the different podcasts. Can you just change it on Spotify and it updates, or is it a totally new one? I don't know, but we'll figure that out, and we'll keep everything up to date.
Yeah. Let's just say things are going to change around here. It's going to be better.
Yeah.
It will be. Dad, you'll hopefully see something be done, and maybe you'll find us more interesting.
We don't need to like pick it up in any way, because it is what it is, as us chatting on a weekly basis and releasing on a Sunday. Like, that's fine. It's just our topic is changing. That's the way I'm approaching it. I don't want it, like, I feel like there was a lot of pressure at the start of the year to be like, let's do the branding, let's get the social media set up, and you just end up with like a whole bunch of tasks that never get done. But if we put it in the context of, Jimmy, I'm glad I'm not in the same room as you.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Just
Okay, fine. You're doing nothing. Just let's change the topic, right? Instead of coming on a weekly basis and going like, what we talk about is, we know what we're talking about, and we can work out the name and everything later.
Yeah. Perfect. Cool. Well, short but sweet.
Yeah, I agree. Thanks for listening. And we look forward to, well, Jamie, I'm looking forward to changing this up and switching up for future episodes. See you next week. Right, Jamie, what